All right, we've been working on solving multi-step word problems. So we have currently or previously learned how to solve them algebraically, and we've also learned how to use a circle diagram model in order to solve them. Today we're going to look at how can I use a tape diagram to represent real-world multi-step equations. So let's go ahead and read our word problem first. Jose went to the zoo last week. While he was at the zoo, he decided he would count the total number of legs in each exhibit. He counted 42 legs total. He remembers that he saw 9 different birds. How many four-legged animals did Jose see at the zoo? So what we're going to do is we're going to go back and reread, but we're going to chunk it into pieces that are important. So every time I see something that is important mathematical information, I'm going to stop. I'm going to write down what I know or what I need to find, and then I'm going to model it using the tape diagram. Then we'll go back up to the word problem and repeat that process. So, back to the beginning of the problem. Jose went to the zoo last week. He remembers, let's start over. Jose went to the zoo last week. While he was at the zoo, he decided he would count the total number of legs in each exhibit. He counted 42 legs total. I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to use that little slash to show that I know I need to stop because I have just found some important information. What do I know? I know that there were 42 legs total. Total is important because that tells me that's going to be either my sum or my product. So I'm going to go towards the bottom down here. I'm going to draw a bar that is part of my tape diagram. This bar is going to represent the total that is in my problem. And since I know the total is 42, I'm going to go ahead and write 42 in that bar. Okay, I'm going to put a check above 42 because I know that I've used that information. He remembers that he saw 9 different birds. I'm going to stop. That's important information. I'm going to draw a box smaller than my total box because I know this is part of the legs that he saw. Okay? I know that this is going to represent the legs of the birds. I'm going to put legs down here just to remind me that's what we're counting is legs. Alright, so this represents the legs of the birds. I'm also going to put that in what do I know. I know that there were 9 birds. Go back to my problem. How many four-legged animals did Jose see at the zoo? So now that's going to tell me what it is that I'm trying to find. I am trying to find out how many four-legged animals Jose saw. We are going to write that into a sentence, and we're going to put a blank for the answer. So I'm going to rewrite that. I'm going to say, Jose saw blank four-legged animals. Okay. So I now have the legs of the birds over here. That's not going to give me a total of 42 because I know that the legs on the birds plus the legs of the four-legged animals combined together is going to give me 42. So I'm going to draw another section on that top bar, and I'm just going to extend it out so that it's the same length as my bar that's 42 because I know that the legs of the birds plus the legs of the four-legged animals are going to give me a total of 42. So I want to think about how many legs does a bird have? It has 2 legs. How many birds did Jose see? Jose saw 9 birds. What would I do with the 2 legs on the 9 birds to come up with a total number of legs? I know that I'm going to need to multiply. So 2 times 9 is going to give me 18. That means that Jose counted 18 legs on birds. So now I'm left with just the legs of my animals. Well, I know that they were four-legged animals. I'm trying to find out how many animals there were. So I'm going to use A for my variable. That means that this other part of my box, I'm going to write 4A. So I know that the top bar and the bottom bar have the same total. That means that 18 plus 4A is going to be equal to 42. What could I do in order to find out what 4A is equal to? Well, if these are equal bars, that means I can do 42 minus 18, and I'm going to get 24. So that means that 4A equals 24. Now that doesn't mean that he saw 24 four-legged animals. That means that he saw 24 legs. We know that each of those animals had 4 legs, and we're trying to find out how many animals it was. So I need to do 24 divided by, I just gave you the answer. I need to do 24 divided by 4, and I know that that is going to equal 6. That means that Jose saw 6 four-legged animals. How can I use my tape diagram to give me my equation? Because that's the next part of our problem, to build our equation. I'm going to look. I have 18 in the first on the top. We knew that we were combining them, so we added. And then we had 4A, and we know the total was 42. So we can write our algebraic equation as 18 plus 4A equals 42. Now you could solve it by doing that subtraction like we just did, or since you have your equation, you could go back, solve it algebraically to check yourself, or you could even use the circle diagram model that we have previously used to check yourself also.